$2.82.
It's time for the lunch rush at Freddy's Frozen Custard, a new idea from the guys who started the Timberline Steakhouses. They say they got the idea for a custard and burger place after seeing a custard stand while on vacation.
My brother and I, who's also a partner, Randy Simon, along with Scott Redler, frequented the Lake of the Ozarks, and there's a place down there that just is a frozen custard stand, and we just noticed phenomenal business there and a real attraction towards that kind of dessert. Started talking about, there's nothing like that in Wichita, and tried to come up with some ideas on how we could put something together and capitalize on that current interest in frozen custard. And as we talked about, well, what about food too for the winter months?
The Simons and their partner Redler have been entrepreneurs most of their lives. For the Simon brothers, it all started with their father, who also happens to be the inspiration for the name of the custard business.
Actually, our dad was in the finance end. His name's Freddy, and he's always looked at different opportunities out there in the world. And about 30 years ago, I got a chance to get out of public accounting and get into some private businesses, and that's worked out well for me. I've been in the Pizza Hut business, the Rent-A-Center business, beauty warehouse, quick print, and just look around at different opportunities and see what other people are doing and try to learn from that and jump into something that you have a passion for.
They seem to have a passion for restaurants, and a lot of people apparently have a passion for custard. After they first opened, they all tasted success.
The Freddy's thing was just kind of done. We were going to do a single stand and you just see how it went, and it did so well, and this property here on the east side of Wichita came available, and we thought, well, let's do a second one. And when we did that, we seemed to have tapped into those entrepreneurs you were talking about, and they started coming in, and this is a neat concept. Are you guys thinking about franchising? And the answer was, now we are. And so we went through those kinds of exercises that you need to do audit-wise and legal work to put together a franchise offering circular that's filed with the FTC, and certain states require registrations, and we just went through all those because there was such a high degree of interest in the concept.
The franchise idea has exploded with 99 stores signed up.
I think as an entrepreneur, you have to be able to understand the risk and the reward. Remember, we have Timberline Steakhouse. We opened a seafood restaurant in Wichita that didn't work, and understanding that every time you open the door and unlock the doors of a restaurant or any business, it's a risk, and you have to be able to accept that. The rewards have been great, mainly because we've been able to bring a lot of people along with us. We have our general managers own parts of our restaurants, so our general managers are also entrepreneurs, and we think that's a big element of our success.
Redler understands the risk. He had an important lesson learned in the classroom of a restaurant at an early age.
Whenever we look at a business, I always like to say, look at your upside and your downside. The first thing I did on my own was years ago. I was 27 years old and opened up a fast food Chinese restaurant in St. Louis, in Clayton, Missouri, and in an area that was like downtown Wichita, that we did phenomenal lunches and couldn't do any dinner business at all. Nobody was there, and the city wouldn't let us deliver. So we didn't succeed, and I call that my master's degree. And you have to be able to understand, here's my upside, here's my downside. I always view the worst thing that can happen in a business, if you're neutral and just sitting there not making money, not losing money, you're not forced to make a decision. So you just sit there. If it doesn't work, you have to make a decision. If it does work, obviously you can expand and grow.
The three view all of their employees as partners in their business. In fact, much of their management has the option to actually own a piece of the business.
Even with our Timberlines, when we first started, the Timberline general managers had the opportunity to buy into everything that we've done. So we have some managers that own part of 5 Timberline restaurants, Timberline Steakhouses, and also 3 Freddy's Frozen Custard. So it's really great, and to see them succeed and to see their lifestyles change a bit too, that's the reward.
Randy Simon has words of advice for would-be entrepreneurs. Keep trying.
The trick is to try to get as many successful ventures as you have unsuccessful ventures. I was counting up the other night because I was going to give a speech to my Panera Bread managers, and I can think of about 28 different companies that I've been involved in since I left public accounting 30 years ago. And I'm only involved in 4 of those right now, so 24 have gone away somehow. Luckily, 3 or 4 of those have been really good successes that have provided the finance and the capital for me to continue on. The other 20 have been somewhere from minor to totally miserable failures. And you probably learn as much or more from the failures as you do from the successes.